Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Tyandra. I have been gone for a while, so hopefully I can get back into my flow because anyways, today's video is gonna be just a little sit down video. This is a video I've been trying to do for like the longest time now, and I still haven't until right now. I don't know why I kept putting it off when it's literally just a simple little video. That's it, just me telling y'all all the jobs I've been to, like and it's been a lot. So in total it's 9 jobs. I think this is in a span of 3 years. I started working in 2020. We're in 2023, so yeah, 3 years. I'm gonna be telling you how all the jobs I've had plus the pay, and I'm gonna show you guys, like, I guess video clips of me at these places. I think I have clips for all of them, maybe. Yeah, I think I have clips for all of them except the one that I currently have, which I basically kind of quit today because I haven't showed up for the last 2 days, so I don't know if I'm gonna come on Monday. The first job that I had, I was 19, like literally early on in COVID, so it was really hard for me to get a job overall. I've tried getting jobs before, like when I was 16, but obviously I didn't have the experience, and at the age I was, they really was being picky, so I couldn't really get a job when I was 16. I tried again when I was 17, didn't work. They told me that they wanted to wait until I turned 18. I'm like, bro, are you serious? So first it was I had no experience and I was a minor, and then the second time I tried when I was 17, it was of my age. The experience thing didn't even matter for them. So, and then when I turned 18, I didn't want that job no more, because like, y'all had me wait this many months for me to turn 18 to get this job. Like, no. Then when I turned 18, it was just like COVID happened like a couple months after, and I graduated, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do because I realized I did not really graduate during that time. I only had a certificate of completion, so I really could not get into college with that, and I really did not want to go to school, but I was trying to apply, but I just didn't know if I could and could not go to school with a certificate of completion. But I just said, frick school, that's not for me. From 18 to 19, I couldn't get a job because of COVID, and then I finally was able to get a job at 19 because my grandma worked at this grocery store called Festival Supermarket, but it's also known as Presidente, but they're changing it to Festival Supermarket. Yeah, so that was my first job. They paid about $8 and some change. I don't remember the exact amount, but I know it was $8 and some change. They had me working 6 days a week, bro. It was no part-time option. I need to at least like do part-time first so I can see what it's like to work, and especially to stand for 8 hours a day. When I tell y'all, those were the most excruciating 6 days, 6 months of my life. There would be like a meat and fish area. People would be bringing these huge things, and I would have to bag that, and that stuff like really affected my back. And since we only worked 6 days a week, my back was just like already in so much pain, so my back never got the chance to heal. Pain, working on pain, I never could do anything. My back hurted so freaking much. And also some of the employees there was just like had a horrible attitude, and it's just like they really was not messing with some of us. Like, there was people that were my age at that time, and we couldn't do what they did, which was talk to each other. They would separate us because we were talking to each other. What kind of stuff was that? Because we was younger, they had to separate us because we were talking, but yet everyone else was allowed to talk and still stay with each other. Did that make any kind of sense? No. They was just being like real weird with that. Couldn't make friends. The second job I had was at Chick-fil-A. Oh my lord. It was nice to be at a job where it was people my age and I got to, make friends, this, that, and the third. But I didn't want to work in the kitchen. I had no choice. They put me in the kitchen. I wanted to work in the front. That's where it's at, like customer service. That's what I know. And they put me in the kitchen, and that was not something I wanted to do. But the kitchen was paying $12 an hour and the front was $10. I don't know how much they're paying now because this was 2 years ago. It was such horrible people working there. The adults, not the people that were my age. It was all the adults that, like, I swear, I really thought I was leaving the toxic environment, and then I enter even worse toxic environment. What kind of mess was that? When I tell y'all, the dude that helped me get the job, he was the team manager or whatever for the kitchen. And what I didn't know was that he was a predator, and that's why there was no girls working in the freaking kitchen. Except there was one lady, but she was a grown lady, so it's like I don't think he really is considered a predator towards her. My coworkers were telling me things about him. They were kind of like not wanting to tell me anything about this man. After they told me, I realized some creepy stuff that this man was doing. It made me so freaking aware because of the things that he did. He would call me when I would get off of work and ask me if I was home or like what am I doing and stuff like that, and I thought nothing of it, and I was like, oh no, I'm not home, I'm with my mom, we're getting food, blah blah blah. I thought nothing of it because this was before I knew who this man was. There was females my age that this man was like being creepy to, took like I guess a special liking to me. When I found out that mess about him, was just like I did not see him the same no more. I think he picked up on that was just like backing away. You're weird, you know. One time this man was talking about
adult activities
in the freaking kitchen. I was like, hold on, it's a bunch of 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-olds up in this kitchen, and it's a 40-year-old man talking about
adult activities
to another coworker in front of a bunch of people's ears in the kitchen at work, and you're a grown man and you already like have the word predator over your head, and this is what you're talking about in the work environment. Anyways, it was a lot of like adults there that was just like gossiping and trying to like spread the word about everybody and everything, just like trying to get everybody fired basically, just to get on top. After he left the kitchen, I said, he is nasty, what is he talking about? Like, and I was laughing about it because it was like, why is this man talking about
adult activities?
I was just so weirded out. I just had to call him a nasty man, and next thing you know, the word gets spread around that I called him a nasty man with no context, just that I called him a nasty man. That's what was spread around, and it wasn't coworkers that were my age, it was the coworkers that were older that was spreading the word. And next thing you know, the next day I'm getting threatened to be fired because I called him a nasty man. It was two people. We were in the recess area because of COVID, so kids weren't able to play in there. It was this one lady in there, and then it was him, and they were both talking to me, and he just kept trying to attack me. I was trying so hard not to cry because I'm like, why am I getting in trouble for saying two little words that was true? Dude was just talking about that he wants me fired, and the other lady is just like, no, let's just, you know, discuss this situation, see what's going on, blah blah blah. When he walked out of the room, I guess because he was mad, I spoke to her privately, and I was like, the reason I called him that was because of what he was talking about in the kitchen in front of a bunch of ears for everyone to hear, and I just did not find that appropriate. That's what I said. Next thing you know, I'm not fired, so but I did like end up leaving probably a month or two later to another job, and guess who was trying to convince me to stay after threatening to fire me 2 months earlier? Yeah, that same person I called a nasty man was so desperately trying to keep me to stay, and you know, he had to have a witness in there as well. Anyways, next job, I'm getting off topic. The third job is Amazon warehouse. So that one was $15 an hour, and it was overnight only. During the time I was working there, it was $15, but now they are paying $16 an hour. I was only there 2 months. I wish I could have been there longer, but with the whole overnight thing and then trying to fix your schedule on your off days, it was just like messing my head up and just making me feel sick. I kept like sleeping for too long. I would be sleeping my entire day, and then I have to wake up for work. So as soon as I get off of work, I'm in bed sleeping the entire freaking day until it's time to get back to work, and it was just like not healthy, messing up my brain cells, I guess, and it just started making me feel sick. So I request, and then I actually did get sick, and I just like boogies just kept like my nose was really runny at that time. So I was trying to request days off, but you have to do everything through their Amazon app, and it was just kind of hard to do that. I guess I clicked the wrong thing, because next thing you know, when I was coming back, it says that I'm no longer on the schedule. Is there any way that we can fix this here? And they was talking about some, for whatever I applied to get those days off, I wouldn't be able to come back without medical papers. So I was just like, all right, you know what, forget it. So then I was just jobless for like a good 2 months. Lost some money, but what can I do? Fourth place I was at was called Allegro Senior Living. I was a server for a bunch of senior citizens. A lot of them was not nice, okay? And they expected that food to be out in 2 freaking seconds. Like the rudest people you've ever met. Old rich white people with cranky attitude. It was not fun. It was an easy job, but the thing is, we were very highly understaffed, and the employees were mad rude. These people try to get me fired. That's how messed up it was. I said one one thing, and then ever since then she just automatically started hating me. She was the same person that would talk the most smack about the resident. What kind of hypocritical stuff is that? Mine was a joke, but she's making fun of these people. She's talking smack about these people. I was just saying a joke that I guess isn't a joke in the restaurant environment, and I was like, I understand that, but I said what I said. But I don't think I should get fired for it because I wouldn't actually do it. So yeah, then people was just like rude to me because it was her and her friend, so they were just both attacking me. They took all the utensils that we have to put on the tables and stuff, and I didn't know that. So I was just grabbing those utensils that were there, and they got so freaking upset towards me, like having a whole attitude and whatnot. And I'm just like, I did not know. Like, I did not know they were yours. I'll get you some more if it's that big of a problem. Like, I was still new. Y'all was here a couple weeks earlier than me, but y'all is just like already rude from the start. I hated it there. One night I ended up leaving because they got fired too. They literally ended up getting fired, so I was like so happy. But then I realized there's literally only 2 waitresses left and there's 24 tables. I decided not to come back since. I was not about to do that. So the day literally after, I applied to a car wash and got the job on that day. The pay was terrible. It was commission only, and it was really hard to sell car washes because nobody really was trying to get the expensive car washes. They were just looking for something basic. So my checks would be like less than $200 a week, mainly like $100. I did kind of get to do whatever I want. I was on my phone the entire time, except I had to be outside. So then these new owners came and like started redoing everything, started like hiring new people to like, I guess, have us go away. But one of the owners was just like so freaking messed up. Like, I don't know what he had going on, but after he smacked my hand, I was over it. I was over it. And he had the audacity to say he barely touched me. Oh, please. Like, okay, so he was trying to explain something to me and I was like, okay, cool, but I was pointing at whatever button. I was not gonna click it, and this man had the audacity to go, oh! You could literally hear the smack. You could hear the smack, and I'm just like, why would you slap my hand? I was just pointing at it. Anyways, I went to go to the bathroom to go cry about it because like he was trying to gaslight and stuff like that, and I was just over that job because it was not the first time I got into it with this man. Yeah, 2 weeks later, I ended up getting a job at a gas station called Speedway. Oh my goodness. It was $12 an hour. I should have never took the job, but they called me 20 minutes after I applied, so I took it anyways, and I needed something, so. But I only stayed there for 2 months as well. But that job was just so booty cheese. It was, working at a gas station is not for the weak, okay? I'm gonna tell you that. I did like that I got to work morning because I got to leave early, but I didn't like that we had to tuck our shirts into our pants because this is a gas station. So like, what are we doing that for? And I didn't want to do that because, you know, it'd be some creepy people at the gas station, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So whenever the manager was not there, I would untuck my shirt because I'm not playing with that. But yeah, the manager, I was not feeling her. The energy was just not there. It just really hurt to just stand for 8 hours and not do any kind of movement whatsoever. So it was really affecting my knees a lot and my ankles. It was just like I was not doing that anymore. But anyways, I ended up leaving because I was grieving, but I also applied to another job at the same time, which was Amazon, and people from Amazon kept coming to that gas station, so I was able to ask them for a job application or wherever they applied to. So I ended up getting that. I might as well not come back to Speedway and just take this time to mourn the loss that I just, you know, went through. That's what happened. And then once I got to Amazon, we did training and I did hit a cone. So I was about to cry because I was still like mourning. It was only like a fresh 2 weeks, so I was still like really sad, so my emotions were on high. Yeah, so I was about to cry because I didn't go through all this boring behind training just to hit a cone and not pass. But the trainer, he let me slide and I ended up getting the job. Of course, at the time that I was working, $16 an hour, but now it's $18 an hour. It was like $18 an hour the last 2 months that I was working there. Yeah, peak season is not it. It's not for the weak. It's really not for the weak. I could not do it. I would barely have time for break. Like, it would be in some neighborhoods where it's just like, okay, I know I'm gonna finish easy on time, blah blah blah, and I'm gonna be able to get a break. There'd be some areas where it's just like, because we kept getting moved to different routes, so it was kind of annoying because like you would get this one area where you're just like, okay, I'm good, I'm doing good every freaking day, I can have enough time for my breaks and go home early. But no, we kept getting moved to horrible booty behind areas, and the apartments on top of that with no elevators. Tripping. That would take up my whole freaking day. I got COVID during like the last couple months I was working there, and it was just really hard for me to come back. The COVID made me so freaking weak. It was just not the same coming back to work. It was just like I felt so weak every time I was trying to like lift those totes to put in the van. I just felt like I was about to pass out. I could not. And then when peak season came, it was like I couldn't do that no more, especially not having any time for a break, not time for doing anything. Like I could, and then the neighborhoods that they kept putting me in, it was just like really hard to even finish on time. The areas they had me in was literally filled with trailer parks and all that stuff. I don't know where I was last at with this story, because some foolery just came knocking at my door and I was just out there for like a good 10 minutes. So I think I was talking about why I ended up leaving peak season, blah blah. It's my last straw because it wasn't showing up, the locations wasn't even showing up on the map on the phone. So it was just like, yeah, this is it, I'm not coming back. I brought back like 80 packages because it was already way past the time I was supposed to be out there, and it was starting to be freezing cold. Next one, after quitting, I went on my Christmas vacation, and then I came back and I still couldn't find a job for a good 5 months, and then I was finally able to get one, but I didn't know it was like a temporary thing because they did not say that. It was through an agency, and it was for a warehouse called Interplex. It was $15 an hour, and I was only there 2 weeks, and I still don't know to this day why I was even terminated. I was upset because it was my first time being fired, but I don't even consider that job even me working there because it was only 2 weeks and a waste of my time. They decided to fire me at the time I was finally like, you know, getting into it, finally getting a flow. No explanation, just the agency had to call me and tell me. I came in on my last day, worked an entire day, not knowing I was gonna be fired that day. All right, and then the last one, I got this job probably like 2 or 3 months after that warehouse job. Okay, so this one is a call center called Teleperformance. It's for Bank of America. It's this fraud servicing department that I was doing, and it was for credit cards. It paid $17 an hour. They said that they do 50-cent raises every year, which is like, in the beginning, for the first 3 weeks, it was this training, which was us just listening to however we have to do this job, staring at a computer for 8 hours a day for 3 weeks. Then we moved on to OJT, which is on-job training, which is when we're finally getting on the calls and talking to people. It's really hard to get any help, and it was really frustrating. So a lot of people ended up leaving during OJT, but a lot of people left during training. And I was almost one of those people, but I was just like trying so hard to thug it out, but I was just like not coming for work. I was just like going in and out and deciding if I want to stay here or go work at McDonald's. OJT was done. I was nervous because then we had to go into production, which is where we get assigned a supervisor. To this day, I would still need help on calls because I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't be knowing how to answer these people's questions. It just started getting to a point where the job itself just became mad depressing, just really hard to even show up. I haven't showed up in the last 2 days, so I basically quit, I guess. So I got another job before I even decided to, you know, quit, which is a good thing because I was really like, oh, you know, when you're at a job where everybody around you is also depressed, making you depressed because of how much everybody hates the job. We literally started off with 47 people, and now we have 8 people, and we're all hanging on by a thread. Okay, we're barely even showing up now. The new job I'm about to have now is working from home. This one pays $15.50, but I just did not care about the amount. I just wanted to, you know, leave. I still have 2 more weeks until start date of my new job. I start November 6th. Today's Saturday, October 21st, so I don't know when this video is coming out. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video.